Welcome to Paris Good Food and Wine. I'm Paige Donner, the host and producer. This food and wine show is being brought to you directly from Paris, France. Here, we give you a taste of this delicious world with all its colorful and diverse personalities that make up the Paris culinary landscape. So, sit back and relax and enjoy Paris Good Food and Wine. Happy holidays to you and yours from Paris. If you're listening to this show from outside France, I'd like to share with you some of the sights and sounds and smells that make up the warm and cheerful holiday season here in the City of Lights. First of all, Christmas decorations start going up by about the third week of November, giving us a long run up to the happiest day of the year. The Christmas markets on the Champs-Élysées and in Paris's Saint-Germain-des-Prés are all up by this time too. Here you can find mulled wine, that warm, sweet and spicy red wine that is so emblematic of the holidays here in Europe. The savory smells of roasting chestnuts and hot crepes are also wafting in the air. Christmas trees are outside all the florists' shops, and a common sight one sees is people walking down the narrow cobble streets carrying one home for their kids. The churches, like St. Paul on Rue Saint-Antoine in the Marais, have their crèche on display, often lit with twinkling candles that invite you to gaze in wonder and reverence on the baby Jesus manger scene, so central to Christmas celebrations here. This year, for our December show, I'm introducing you to a truly marvelous gourmet gift shop that is easy to find in the Les Halles district, Paris's traditional food neighborhood. It's called the Boutique dans le Noir and is the little shop of specialty food items that's associated with the celebrated restaurant Dans le Noir, a restaurant staffed entirely by the blind and nearly blind. Our interviewee for this segment is the boutique's staff intern, Rasmaya Haji, originally from the Comoros Islands and perfectly bilingual in both French and English. Next, I take you to meet the Plaza Athenee's new pastry chef, Angelo Musa. Here in Paris, the Plaza is one of the holiday destinations of choice and always does things up with great Christmas fanfare. This year, in addition to their Dior decorated Christmas tree, they're also featuring, as is custom, a special tea time. There are few more delicious ways to enjoy a cozy December afternoon than with a pot of tea or hot chocolate and a delicate, melt-in-your-mouth fine pastry made by Chef Musa. So curl up by the proverbial fireplace and enjoy our special Christmas 2016 edition of Paris Good Food and Wine. Hi, Rasmaya. So, Rasmaya, I have never interviewed anyone from the Comoros Islands, and I'm thrilled to have met you through this boutique, Dans le Noir. Tell me a little bit about your background and how a young woman from the Comoros Islands ended up living in France.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Rasmia. As you said, I'm 26 years old. I have been living in France since the age of 9. But I was born in Comoros Island, which is a small island next to Madagascar in the south of Africa. And I came here with my family for better studies opportunities, actually. Mm-hmm.
Great. And well, it's obvious that you have quite talent or facility with languages because I know your French must be even better than your English.
Yes, thank you very much. I have learned English at school, but I also have learned Spanish and Italian. But I learned to speak French at the same time that I learned to speak Comorian. When I was a baby, so maybe I am used to switch to various languages at the time since I was a baby. So maybe it's the reason why I have facilities speaking English and other languages.
Fascinating. Well, it sure makes this interview much easier. So here we are down in right in Léal, so where the boutique is located on Rue Quincampoix. And it's the boutique for Dans le Noir, which translates to in the dark. Yes. Yeah, in the dark. So I wanted to start off because this might not be a concept that well that familiar to our listeners. So could you please explain first the concept of tasting French artisanal gourmet products, which is what this boutique sells and specializes in, but tasting them in the dark?
Yeah, so the concept is really easy because first of all, you have to know that La Boutique dans le Noir is the little sister of Le Restaurant dans le Noir that was created 12 years ago by Edouard de Breuil, a French entrepreneur who is now the founder and the CEO of the group. So people can eat in the dark. So here at the delicatessen, people come and test products that are sold at the shop in the dark. They are guided by an unexpected expert. Usually, all our experts are blind or half-blind people. So they go with you in the dark and you test 5 products. Both liquid products and solid products. We have champagne, we have wine, we have juices, we have teas, for instance, but you can also find a solid product with a combination of salty and sweet product. So all the products have been tested also in the dark by the jury of the Blind Tasting Awards, which is the first European demarcated label that focus only on the product itself. So you forget about all the packagings, all the marketing that goes around all the products today. So you focus only on the organoleptic qualities of products, and that's it. So that is how the concept, that is the initial concept of Dans le Noir. So then once you tested the product, you can come here and buy the product that you liked or discover other typical French products.
And I want to clarify 2 points there because you're so immersed now in this world that it probably all seems very familiar to you. But first of all, you named some of the products like champagne for liquid and sparkling wines, and also rosés and whites and red wines, and some artisanal beers too. And as I look around, but then here on this other side, I mean, you have, can you actually just name some of the products? Because there are beautiful products like rosemary syrup.
Yes, we have very original products that as I said, they were all tested in the black, and they were all selected because they really highlight our French and European savoir-faire by their taste, but also by the history that is behind the producers. So we have really a wide range of artisanal French and homemade products. We have products such as truffle products that are a bit luxurious. We have foie gras. We also have more common French typical products such as pâté, rillettes, and olive products. You have mustards. We have jams, also a lot of jams. We have oils. Everything that is in the shop has been selected by the jury and gets an awards. So you have medals, you have bronze, you have gold, you have silver, but you can also find a little bit more original product that receive a medal that is called coup de cœur, that can be translated as crush, maybe a crush. So it is the crush of the jury. They are very unusual products. So you will find products we have one specifically that is named tartare d'algues, which is algae product.
Algae
Product. So it is very funny to try to guess in the dark. So we really wanted to show that this type of product exists, that are made by French producer, and they are very good quality products also.
That's fascinating. Yeah, the olive tapenades, the honeys, the jams, the mustards. I mean, this is definitely the boutique to come to when you want to bring back some savory and sweet memories from France. Yes. The other thing I wanted to just clarify a little bit, because again, not every listener may be familiar with this concept of tasting things in the dark, because I think for some people, they may imagine in their minds, oh, sure, I've eaten at a restaurant with very dim lights before. But that's not what this is it? I mean, this is completely black. I mean, you cannot see a thing, and you're led to your seat by an expert who is blind or half blind. So describe a little bit the sensory of what that darkness is like.
So it is an absolute darkness. So you made the experience, Paige. So we have managed to create what we call the dark rooms, which is a room that you really have to focus, that helps you to focus only on what you are eating. So it is soundproof. Also, the rooms are soundproof. So you will be seated at your seat with the guide in front of you and the product. So being in the total darkness like this, it's also helps you to focus only on the voice of the guides and the product that you are smelling, touching, or putting in your mouth. So people feel really comfortable in the dark. At first, they are afraid, of course. So when you enter in the dark, you lose all your familiarities. So you can be really confused and scared. Some people prefer to go out. Sometimes it happens, but they always go back because it's a very unique experience. So no one wants to miss it. So they arrive and they sit and they immediately feel comfortable, relaxed. The idea of forgetting about other people seeing you, being judged, being being in the black bring a lot of peacefulness to everyone. So everybody starts to speak to everyone. Everybody starts to share, to laugh. People speak a little bit more out loud also, and they share a lot. We have people who go in the dark without knowing each other, and they go out. They become best friends. They exchange phone numbers, addresses, everything to keep in touch because they discovered each other without judgments. They only heard the voices of the people, and that's all that matters, to focus on sharing with other people and discovering a really good high quality product in the dark.
I'm so glad that you explained that, and you explained that so well, Hasmia. And you're right. I did have the chance. I had the great opportunity to try this here in your boutique because, and we'll get into that next, you actually offer people to come into this boutique and try some of the products before they even purchase them, which is a wonderful opportunity, and everyone must try. Everyone listening must try. And I have to share too that, yes, after that experience, I could not believe how focused you are, your senses become on the aromas and the tastes of the products. When you can't see the packaging, when you can't see the labeling, when you don't know the color of the wine, you really get very, very focused. And that leads me to the next question. So how can somebody come in and do one of these tastings in the dark? Are reservations required? What's the process?
So the reservations are required. You can book online. we have a website, boutique.danslenoir.fr. So you will have all the availabilities of the tastings. We have 4 types of tasting. As I said, we have tasting découverte, tasting plaisir, tasting tea time, and tasting enfant. We have all of them on the website. You can also call us by phone. And for reservation for business inquiries or special events such as birthday, we encourage people to contact us directly by email at boutique@danslenoir.com, so we can offer them a more personalized experience that fits their needs also. And that is the idea. So everyone can make a reservation and come and try the products.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's free. You don't have to pay for this. You just have to let you guys know that you're coming and you want to do the tasting.
No, the tasting that you made was free because it was for special events, des bulles dans le noir, for sparkling wines. But for people, customers, you have 2 prices. One price at 19 euros and another price at 29 euros. That's the only price we have.
Okay. All right. Well, that's reasonable. Yeah. So I'm glad thank you for that correction. It's important. And then also though, just to come into the boutique, which is a regular boutique. I mean, it's like any other, little gourmet shop. You can, of course, you can come in and you can browse and you can look at the products. And, so many of them are absolutely delightful and they've won these jury awards from blind tastings. So that it's all top quality. So you can just even wander into the boutique and pick up a few, items for home or for gifts or whatever. But when you want to do that tasting, then you contact through the website and make a reservation and come in. Yeah. Okay. So now can you explain, I know you've touched on it in several of the answers, in the answers to several of these questions, but can you just explain a little bit more the concept behind the restaurant Dans le Noir? Because the restaurant is just a few feet down the road, also on Rue Quincampoix. And like you said, it was opened 11 years ago now. So, tell us, what's the concept behind Dans le Noir?
So, Dans le Noir, le restaurant was created 12 years ago by Edouard de Breuil, who is, as I said, the founder and the CEO of the group Dans le Noir today. And the concept was to try to make people understand that handicap can be a real added value in a company and not an obstacle. So the restaurant has developed internationally. Since then, you have restaurants in London, St. Petersburg, Barcelona, and all the restaurants works the same way. So we go and eat in the dark, and we are guided by blind or half-blind people. So the group also developed a spa dans le noir. So to highlight the savoir-faire of blind people and half-blind people in the dark, how they touch people. They all have degrees, and they have the possibility to come and to try the massage in the dark or in the tinted light, as you prefer. They are very personalized massage. And a couple months ago, 7 months ago, the group has decided to create La Boutique dans le Noir to highlight the sensory quality of blind people and their organoleptic in the dark, because in an environment in which we all lose our sensitivity, we get lost. Blind and half-blind people become the ambassador of good quality products. That's the concept.
That's a lovely thing to say. And it's so wonderful that a company has become so successful in illustrating the value of people who, are quote unquote, handicapped or disabled, but they're not. They just have other talents that are more developed, in fact. So this boutique opened 7 months ago. Okay. And now you have a spa. Now, where's the spa?
It's right here in Paris, Rue Montmartre. It's 10 minutes from the boutique. If you come, we can show you the way. And you can look online. They have a website, Spa dans le Noir. You make reservation. You have also availabilities online, and you can call them to book a reservation also.
So you could just have a whole experience. You could do dinner, spa, and then pick up some beautiful products at the boutique.
That's it. It's a whole package. So for people who are interested in doing a package of both, we also have the opportunity. We give the opportunity to buy voucher online that combine each experience. So you can buy them online for you or to offer as a gift to the people you want for Christmas, for instance, or for a birthday. They are very popular and people really love to use them because they offer a whole experience rather than just coming in, eating something and going out. So you really can discover the universe of Dans le Noir.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because vouchers and gift certificates it's coming up to holiday time. Yes. So, one tiny little last question. Rasmia, had you worked with any blind people before starting to work at this boutique, or was this your first encounter?
It was my first one, but actually I really wanted to have this internship because I am very interested in how to integrate handicapped people in work environments because I have a little brother who suffers from Down syndrome. So I'm very concerned with all these questions of handicapped people in our society and in the work environment. So that's something that I really loved about this job, and I really love working here with my colleagues. We are two interns, me and Julie, and we also have all these colleagues who are blind or half blind who come here every day for the testing. We learn a lot with them about human experiences, but also about work because they have this savoir-faire that we don't have in the dark. So it's really important for us, and I think that is the reason why we all choose to work for Dans le Noir.
Well, that's very impressive. That's very impressive, and I also wanted to say a big bravo too for the word organoleptic that you used several times in the sentence.
It's really hard to pronounce it, but it's really the word. We really put the highlight on the organoleptic of the project.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rasmia. This was wonderful for you to share your time and your knowledge with us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and do not hesitate and come back anytime. You will be always welcome. So thank you very much.
I'm Paige Donner, host and producer of Paris, Good Food and Wine. Next up, Paris Good Food and Wine talks with Angelo Musa, the Plaza Athenee's new executive pastry chef. This lovely gentleman that I'm sitting across from, Chef Musa, who is the pastry chef, the new pastry chef here at the Plaza Athenee. So we were going to start with you telling me about how you've created a new tea time, a new tea experience here.
Yes, I arrived here in Plaza Athenee in April 2016, and my first job was to create a new atmosphere about tea time. We created Parisian cakes, and we created about 20 different types of pastry, and now we present for the moment 10 different cakes. And I can explain what we present.
Yeah, sure. It was nice because right before we rolled the interview, the recording, you showed me each of the 10 that are on display, and they're in my eyesight now. But it might be a lot to try to go over to describe them. But maybe just a couple, the one that you were inspired by your travels in Japan to do. What about talk to us about that one?
That's true. We made a lot of different cakes, very light, very très goûteux.
Tasty.
Very tasty. It's very important for me. The texture is very important. And one of them is an experience from my travel in Japan. And the name is roll cake. And we take French experience to with Japanese experience, and we created this cake with mango and vanilla. And the cakes, the biscuit, is very soft, very sponge,
Yeah, very
and
spongy.
very spongy, and it's very interesting. I love it.
You know, and as we said a moment ago, those are two cultures, the French culture and the Japanese culture, who seem to have really been able to master this delicate and complex art of pastry making. You know, actually, the other one I would love for you to tell us about too is your tiramisu, how you've expressed how you half Italian, half French, which we'll get into in another moment. Tell us a little bit about your tiramisu.
That's true. I am half French and half Italian. It was very important for me to work about this cake because half of my body is Italian. So, and I created these cakes. The form is like a bowl. Inside you have a very cream with mascarpone, very soft, not so sweet. You have a biscuit, a sponge with un bibé,
Whipped?
whipped with coffee syrup, with a very nice coffee. For me, tiramisu is coffee and cheese mousse. It's not with strawberry or with anything. It's very important for me, coffee and mascarpone mousse. And inside we put something very thin with coffee and crunchy. You know, you will try it after. And on a trempé la boule. We dipped the bowl in a glaze made with white chocolate and with coffee parfumé, flavored with coffee. You know, all around the coffee and the mascarpone, and all together is I like it.
You know, and you delved straight into the ingredients and how you made it. But you know, it's funny because somebody who first looks at it, they're going to say, "That looks like a ball," and you did. You made your tiramisu in the form of a ball, which is very innovative. Why did you choose to do that?
I like to change. I like to use different form for my cakes because it's beautiful to see a different form, to see a different form, and it created something nice to see, and
It's like you're playing with design.
yes, it's like and in a bowl you can do many things. You know, you can create a lot of texture in a bowl, and with this technique, dipping the bowl in a glaze, it's easier to create something inside, so, which is more soft. You know.
I get it. So you're really playing with the textures there, and the form allows you to play with the texture. Interesting. Okay. All right. So now, so let's get back to that Italian part of you. You're from France. You were born here, but as you mentioned a moment ago, I guess your father's side of the family comes from Italy, and you still have quite a bit of family there. So when you visit them regularly, what kind of influences? Like, what are some things that Italian has influenced?
So that's true. I was born in France, but my father is from south of Italy, from Puglia, near Bari, and that's true. Every year I go to Italy to change my mind, pour me reposer,
Just kind of relax.
to relax, and to see my family because I have a lot of family in Italy. I can decompresser. It's very important because when you work during all the year, it's very stress. In Paris, it's not so. It's very stress. So I need to go to change my mind. And when I go there, I really enjoy to eat with my family, to eat Italian food. It's very good. It's amazing, and I really enjoy to have this, to share this time with my family and to eat with them.
And a moment ago too, you mentioned that. Well, I'm sorry that you recently lost your grandmother, but she was 102 years old. So I think that the food there must be very healthy.
Yes, it was a very, very special woman. She died. When she died, she was 102 years. Mm. She made 7 children, and no words to explain this woman. She just miss us. You say that?
We miss her.
We miss her. Sorry. And but life goes on, and we have to go on. But it's not always easy. But
So switching back to now times, and that's funny in French. The way that the syntax is you say it like that person misses me. The syntax in French, which is why I know why you said it that way. But it's charming. So. All right, tell us a little bit of how did you come to the plaza, because the plaza doesn't change their staff very frequently. So you've now taken over as the head pastry chef, the executive pastry chef here. How did you get here?
So I met Mr. Ducasse few months ago in his chocolate shop. We just spoke. I went to the chocolate shop and I went to see the shop. I went to see the chef, Nicolas, and Mr. Ducasse was there to make a movie. I don't know what, but he was there, and we spoke a little bit. And after a few days, I went to Japan for my business, and I received a call. And it was Mr. Ducasse. He wanted to speak with me, and he asked me to help him, to work with him, and I said, "Wow, I'm so impressed. I'm so happy." But I was so impressed, and he said, "In a few days, I will be in Tokyo, so we can meet each other, and we can speak." So I met him in Tokyo few days later, and we spoke, and now I am in a plaza.
And what's so interesting too about your path, your chemin, to here is that that chance meeting is pretty spectacular, and then that something came, something grandiose came of it. But also, you explained to me a moment ago that you've been doing consulting. So a lot of times people, will chef at this, starred restaurant and this palace hotel, and then go from kind of one, luxury place to another. But you've done what, a good maybe 10 years of consulting. So, or I don't know if the years are, but you've done quite a bit of consulting, which shows that you have, obviously you're very talented in terms of being a pastry chef, but obviously too you've got a business side to you as well. So.
I'm working in the Plaza Athenee 10 days a month, so I have some times for me to continue my consulting. And here in the Plaza Athenee, for me, it's a new atmosphere, it's a new environment, and it's amazing for me because it's very nice. It's there is so many people here, maybe 500 people are working there, and it's a very good opportunity for me to create new dessert, because we are not limited with ingredients. I can do what I want. I can create everything I want, and for a pastry chef, it's very nice. No limit. There's no limit. and it's good for me too because I can travel. I can go. 2 weeks ago, I went to Mexico City to make a demonstration. So I have no time to m'ennuyer. I have no time to get bored. So that's cool.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. So just the very last question: if we're gonna come and make a reservation to enjoy this exquisite tea time here at the Plaza during the holidays, what would you recommend? I know you'd recommend all of your pastries, but is there something that I don't know? Is there something to look out for? Or?
So of course you have to go to Plaza Athenee. That's the best hotel in Paris, best palace, and you will discover the chariot of dessert. But for Christmas time, we created a bûche de Noël. Christmas cake, yes, special French Christmas cake, which is made with hazelnut sponge, with a perfume of lemon, yes, with lemon confit. It's lemon confit is a paste of lemon, really concentrated, very strong, and we just put some of it in the sponge, not too much. And after you have hazelnut cream, very light, très crémeuse. And after you have a hazelnut crunchy. And after this is rolled, outside you have yuzu ganache, very thin layer. And all around this cake you have a decoration made with milk chocolate. On the top of the bûche you have a piece of hazelnut, roasted. Very important to roast the hazelnut to get more flavor. And I really enjoy to do it. And I'm really happy because at the beginning I did it and I went to see Mr. Ducasse, and I don't know him really well, so I want to know him. So it was maybe the second collaboration with him, and I went to see him in his office, and he tasted it, and he said it is very, very good. So I was really, really happy, really. And no, I'm so happy of the result. We have here a very nice team. I have with me a very nice team, very young team, and the chef Alexandre Dufeu is very, very good, and he helped me to create all these cakes and all this dessert. And I'm lucky.
You're lucky, but you're also obviously very talented. So, and extremely charming too. Yeah. Thank you so much, Chef Angelo Musa.
Thank you so much, and I wait you to the Plaza Athenee, and I will make you discover my special Christmas dessert.
The Christmas music for this episode is courtesy of www.freexmsmp3.com. Thank you for listening, and a very joyeuse Noël for all of you. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Paris Good Food and Wine. A big thank you to all who helped make this show possible, and especially a grand merci beaucoup from me, your host and producer, Paige Donner. You can find this and past episodes of Paris Good Food and Wine on iTunes. And remember to follow us on Twitter at Paris Food Wine and like us on Facebook at Paris Food and Wine.